everyone. Welcome back. This porg shill is still obsessing over The Last Jedi, and today we're going to learn some brand new behind-the-scenes secrets about the costumes of The Last Jedi. Yeah, stuff I didn't even know. Joining me today is ET Online writer Desiree Murphy, who not only attended the Costume Design Awards on Tuesday night, but had a pretty lengthy interview with episodes 7 and 8 costume designer Michael Kaplan.
Yes, Ashley, thank you for having me. So Michael recently called me from London, where he gave me the scoop on what exactly went into creating the most memorable looks from The Last Jedi. I'm talking Carrie Fisher's high collar, Laura Dern's purple hair, and even shirtless Kylo Ren. Got to talk about that.
There's a story behind shirtless Kylo Ren. Okay. Well, let's run down everything. I think I want to start with Canto Bight, because I think the casino scene there is like, there are so many costumes, there's so much going on there. I mean, did he talk about what went into creating that whole sequence?
He did, and I'm actually so glad that you're kicking off this episode with that, because out of everything we saw in The Last Jedi, that was actually one of my favorite sequences. It actually reminded me a little bit of the Met Gala, which is like fashion's biggest night for celebrities.
Right.
They're in this formal dress for Star Wars, and to kind of put that into perspective, Michael said for other Star Wars films, when you're having a few hundred extras, you know, they're all kind of in uniform. You're picking up pieces that they're not really standing out and everything.
Right.
But with this, it's like everyone had their own individual look. And he said that he pays a lot of attention to detail. So every single person, and not only actor and actress, but also the creatures were dressed in these formal wear. He can create it. So not only the ball gowns, but also the headpieces and the accessories, the gloves. And just think about how much work that was.
Yeah, because I'm imagining, like, in previous Star Wars movies, there's always like a cantina, and Canto Bight was kind of the cantina, but we've never seen this like high-end version of that. So these people are in like people, creatures, whatever, are in just drab brown gear, and then this is like everyone needs to be high fashion.
Yes, and I love this scene. I thought he did an incredible job with it, and he actually told me too that Rian Johnson loved it so much, but he kept apologizing to him because so much of this had to be cut out because the movie was already so long already. And he also said that because of that reason, he's really hoping that Rian will put some more of the Canto Bight scene and, you know, close-ups on those beautiful costumes in the extended scenes that we'll get to see in March.
I hope so.
So fingers crossed, because I would love to see more.
There are 2 hours of bonus material there, so I can't wait. Also, Rian Johnson, I believe you owe me an apology as well. You know why. Speaking of regal high fashion, we've got to talk about Princess Leia, because, well, she's always royalty to me. Princess Leia. Got to talk about Carrie Fisher. I had heard she had a lot of input into her costume in terms of like the space jewelry, but what did Michael Kaplan tell you about her look?
Yes, okay. Amazing, iconic, like you said. But basically, as soon as he knew that he was going to be working on this project with Rian told him, you know, I want a Leia for this episode where she's regal, she's more elegant, she's princess-like. So that being said, he was like, okay, how can we do this? And he decided to do it with jewelry and capes. So with the jewelry, he told me that they actually recycled 2 pieces. One was a ring from Force Awakens, and then also the earrings that were like kind of cuffed in her ear from Force Awakens, just in a different finish. Right. So they look totally different, which was cool.
I'm trying to think, that's got to be at the end. Yeah.
With that jewelry, he was like, okay, we have these 2 pieces now, how can we expand? Basically, they just added more rings and jewelry for accessories. And then with the capes, he said he loved these so much because they just framed Carrie Fisher so well. Totally agree with him on that.
Right.
And they just really gave that regal quality that Rian Johnson wanted. And on top of that, with the capes, you know, he really likes costumes where you can wear them in different ways. So that's kind of the inspiration between that high collar that she had, that look that we all love on Twitter, right? But it was basically because, you know, he's like, okay, what can we do with this costume where she's appearing on camera so many times in this movie? How can we make it look different? So he popped the collar and he went to Rian and said, you know, I like this look. What do you think about it? And Rian said, I know exactly the scene we can use that for.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So the costume dictated, like that scene was already there, but then the collar is all Michael Kaplan.
And that's the amazing thing about costume design. I mean, it can make or break a scene or a character, and I feel like this one specifically was so well done. We just see Carrie Fisher looking across the battlefield, looking as regal as can be, and it was so powerful.
It's such a wonderful shot as well.
Yeah.
Did he speak about you know, Carrie's kind of legacy after she passed on and what it meant to him to kind of design for her posthumously, I guess.
Yeah, so this was really interesting, and I wanted to ask about it because, you know, I knew that they had developed kind of a close friendship over time, but I didn't know how well, and they actually went to dinner a lot and to the movies. And with Carrie, he didn't necessarily say that she had a lot of input, but he said that she was very happy with the costumes and very comfortable, because for her, she didn't like really being fussed over on set.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a really good thing. She was like, okay, this is so great. I can be underdressed, just pop the cape on when it's time for a scene, and I'm ready to go. But I wanted to ask him specifically, you know, it's like, we obviously had the tragic death with Carrie. We're all so sad about it. But for him to watch this movie and now know, like, I'm the one that was responsible for creating her final looks as Princess Leia now.
Right.
He shared a really sweet story, and I don't feel like I can give those words justice. I know we have an audio
clip.
We
do have the audio. Yeah, let's play it.
We could do that, yeah.
I was pretty close with her, and as well as her daughter Billy. I've known the whole family for quite some time. And so, you know, when she passed away, it was pretty devastating. And I shortly afterward got an email from Ryan saying that he was editing the film, and he said, I know you haven't seen Carrie on film yet, you know, I'm still editing it, but he said, I'm so happy you were her costume designer and you made her look so wonderful for her last film. So that made me feel, you know, very proud, and you know, it was nice that, you know, it was a nice sentiment from him.
It makes me so happy.
I know. Honestly, when he was speaking to me about that, I just kind of had chills, because I obviously didn't know Carrie. I know you met her once, you interviewed her.
Very briefly.
But I just can't even imagine being on set with the crew and then having to watch this film be made and really do it justice for her.
And you know, she was like, I'm not wearing any version of a metal bikini, so.
Exactly. She's like, this is perfect.
Well, I think another standout in the movie and on the women's side, holding it down for the women, would be Laura Dern's.
Yes, look at this right here.
Vice Admiral Holdo.
Yeah. So I have a really interesting story about this. So on the phone, Michael told me that Laura's hair originally wasn't supposed to be purple in this film.
Really?
Yes, he had a completely different idea, but it was Laura who wasn't she wasn't really thrilled with the idea of having this color. And we have an audio clip of that we should play too.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I didn't think purple hair was very Star Wars, and I wanted her to have, you know, kind of silver hair, which I thought would be really, really beautiful and elegant. But she thought it would kind of look like gray hair, and you know, wasn't that thrilled with the idea. So I think it was Ryan who thought, well, why don't we have the hair match the dress? So that's how that came about.
That's crazy, because I like the purple. I've had purple hair before, but I guess I see what she's saying, but that's so funny that she had so much input into, like, what her character would look like.
Yeah, I like the purple too. I know some people had different feelings about it, but I thought it looked great. I mean, with the jersey dress especially, that was so great. I loved it.
I know. People are always like, why are these like ranking officials dressed like regal queens? And I'm like, because they can.
They can be.
Wouldn't you?
Ryan Johnson can do whatever he wants, right?
Yes, he can. Okay. Here's what I really want to get to, because you mentioned it at the beginning of the video, and now I've been thinking about it this whole time.
Yes.
Let's talk about Shirtless Kylo Ren.
Okay, we can. I know you asked me before, was Michael responsible for this? So I had to ask him point blank, were you responsible for Shirtless Kylo Ren?
Yes.
And basically, yes. So when he was talking with Ryan, it was always kind of known that Adam Driver was going to be shirtless.
Right.
So Michael's idea was, you know, how are we going to make him, like, Adam Driver is so buff, he's in such good shape.
Who knew?
I
didn't know that.
But with Star Wars, he wanted to make sure that the body was seen in an interesting way. And also, you know, Star Wars is a period film, not contemporary. And he thought it would be out of place if he had Adam in, you know, like trendy hip hugging jeans, or even like low baggy jeans, something like that.
Oh my God.
So he's like, it has to be something that
if he was wearing
like
Janko jeans?
Yes. So he put him in these high-waisted, way up here pants.
Did he like see the memes? Like, does he think it's funny, or is he just like, Like, did he have a reaction to that?
Yeah, he did think it was funny. He specifically called out John Mayer. He saw that one. And he
we've seen
pointed
Shirtless
out...
Kylo challenge.
Yes, he has. And he called that out specifically, as well as an article that he read about how all of these people that are Kylo Ren fans are trying to dress like him and having such a hard time because stores in the U.S. don't sell pants that are up this high.
What? I have a few pairs.
Yeah. For ladies, it might not be so hard, but I mean, for the men that are, going to be dressing as Kylo for Halloween, Comic-Con, what have you,
The cosplayers are struggling.
Get creative.
Got to get a cummerbund.
Yeah.
I think.
Because it's like, not only do you have to pull off that, buff Adam Driver look, you also have to have those pants. So it's a big challenge.
Now, I know you asked him about the helmet.
Yes.
Because that's like watching your own work get totally destroyed. What did he have to say?
Okay, there was actually a lot of laughter at this point. But watching that scene as a costume design fan myself, I was like, oh man, I can't imagine, first of all, how many hours of work he put into this only for it to be destroyed in seconds. And he said, I actually heard him say this before, so you know that he feels very passionate about this, but he said, I would think that it's kind of like how Obama felt when Trump came in and started changing all of his policies.
Okay.
There you have it.
Oh my
but
God.
Jokes aside, he also said that he tries not to be too tied to his costumes because he works on a lot of action and adventure films. So things are getting destroyed all the time.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Can't take it personally.
I was curious to know about Snoke too, because it is like a motion capture performance, but he does have like that stylish gold robe. Did he say, like, is that a real robe?
Yes, I loved this. Okay, so basically the inspiration for Snoke was a combination of two things. One being that Ryan came to him and said, I want Snoke to be regal like Leia. And two, the production design. So he knew early on that Snoke was going to be in this red room with red walls, red floors, red guards even. So obviously he wasn't going to put him in that color. Didn't want to put him in black because it wouldn't pop enough. But the gold was someone with Snoke's stature too. It was just perfect. And as far as the material, he said he and his team just basically found this wonderful fabric and had it gold leafed, which is why it appeared so beautifully on camera.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Like, I mean, costume design is like not my forte, believe it or not. But it is crazy, like, to think about. He's like, okay, I have to choose this color based on what the room is going to look like as well. Like, there's the whole thing,
Yeah. And I mean, Snoke was seriously the focal point of all those scenes.
Yeah.
So I thought, again, Michael doing a fabulous job.
And in that throne room, they have the guards next to him, the Praetorian guards. Like, he's got, I mean, we've seen like the red guards next to the Emperor and stuff, but does he, like, is that his costume design as well? The armor and stuff?
Yeah, so one thing Michael really pointed out during our phone call about this was that this was really a team effort. He has a design crew with him that works on everything. And he said he was originally inspired by muscle cars. He wanted them to be red and shiny, but then it was actually his team that came up with the actual design of what those costumes were going to be, because they need full range of motion to fight.
Right.
And then they also need to be able to see. And now watching the film after hearing what he said, it's very interesting because if you look at the helmets on the guards, it appears like they almost don't even have eye holes.
Right.
Which is crazy to me. But he said he was really happy with those, and he said that, a lot of people have been vocal online about how happy they were with those, so awesome. And that made him very happy.
That entire scene is, whenever I'm watching The Last Jedi, because I've seen it a bunch of times, I'm like waiting to get to that scene. I'm like, come on, get through all this stuff, get through all this stuff.
It's so well done.
I'm just like, oh, I just want that throne room scene for like on a loop for 3 hours.
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, so he did 7 and 8.
Yes.
Did he say anything about taking on episode 9?
He is, and he's currently working on it. But I asked him to spill secrets, and he said he's just completely sworn to secrecy.
Okay.
We actually have audio of that, and I'm just going to let him tell you guys.
I'm sorry, I can't say a word. I'm sworn to secrecy, and but I know that JJ has a lot of amazing tricks and secrets up his sleeve, and things that have been disclosed to me, and I'm very excited about it, and so I'm sure everyone else will be too in 2019.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams is like the Da Vinci Code when it comes to secrets. Like, anyone who works with him cannot say a word.
I just can't even like imagine being in Michael's shoes and having to keep this secret for so long.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I'm a bad secret keeper.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know you talked to Michael Kaplan about kind of working with JJ versus Ryan and what that was like, and a bunch of other stuff that we haven't even gotten to.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk to you all day about this chat with Michael. It was so amazing. And he teased a bunch of other things, like whether or not he makes a cameo in the movie and what it was like dressing the creatures in particular. All of that is in a huge article that's now up on ET Online, so be sure to check it out.
Yes, please do. There's so much more, I swear.
Yeah.
And speaking of costumes, by the way, I talked to Donald Glover,
Whoa.
who's playing Lando Calrissian in the next Star Wars movie, Solo: A Star Wars Story. That's out in May. It's so soon. But that is up on this very YouTube page, so please take a look and let me know your thoughts and feelings, and you guys can talk to us on twitter.com.
All the time.
All the time.
24/7.
24/7. Like, literally, I don't sleep. May the porks be with you, and I'll see you guys next time.